I want to tell you about what I think of as the catch-22 when you're trying to heal emotional triggers. Think of emotional triggers as the early programming, how you experience being loved or the absence of love from your early caregivers, and the negative portions of that where it didn't feel good still got installed as a download, as a program. And until that program is recognized and dissolved through self-love, it tends to repeat itself. And that feels incredibly unfair. So not only did you have some negative experiences of not feeling safe and loved as a kid, now you have to keep re-experiencing that in relationship and dynamics as an adult. And often I get the question, I've certainly had that question myself, is this fixable? Can I heal this inside of a relationship? And the thing about it is, often the relationship you attract, or the dynamic you attract, it might not be a romantic relationship, but it could be something at work or a family member. That dynamic is a replication, a duplicate in many ways, very similar to something that you've experienced that wasn't good when you were younger. And until the program for that is still in place, it's actually really, really hard to heal it inside of the relationship. And the relationship might keep re-wounding you. So that groove of that experience is reinforced every time you run into that same dynamic. And it's very hard to heal a dynamic that is constantly played out. So sometimes you might have to separate and spend some time alone where you love yourself to pieces. You treat yourself as the sweetest little kid that you are in charge of taking care of and healing through love, through presence, through compassion. And at that point, I believe there's a much greater chance that you will attract something different into your life. And that might be, it could be that you were able to do that inside of a relationship if you can steer clear of the dynamic that continuously reinforces the negative message that you internalized when you were treated with something other than love and safety and belonging as a little kid. So see every negative dynamic in your love life, in your relationship life, in your friendships as a replay of something old. And that replay film is inside of you. So only through loving that place in the body that is clearly in contraction when you go into that dynamic, do you have the opportunity to soften that so that it doesn't have to keep pulling that dynamic into your life. And what I've experienced in my own life and noticed is that when that self-love really starts to be the default setting, then people that you might formerly have been attracted into a dynamic with just aren't that interesting. There isn't that resonance. There isn't that magnetic feeling of something familiar, yet dangerous, yet something I have to see if I can do differently this time. You just look at that situation, that person, that dynamic with a little bit more objectivity, and you're like, I don't want to do that. Why would I put myself through that? Why would I put someone I love through that? And then you're able to step away. And then whatever you attract in your life subsequently will give you a very clear indication of where your love for yourself is at that point. So how someone else is treating you is very often an indication of what you feel worthy of. So when you start to see yourself as your best friend ever, like this person that you are in charge of loving and taking care of and getting enough sleep and eating the best food and having downtime and having fun and going places that are interesting, when you really start to do that, you're much more likely to be pulled into friendships, relationships where that is the quality. So next time you're treated ill, if you will, in a way that feels hurtful by someone else, ask yourself just for a moment, as an experiment, why would I do that to myself? What belief about love do I hold in my body that would lead me to be drawn into that situation, and probably more than once.